everybody, Larry Lawton here. I have a very good video for you today. This video today is going to be about the North Carolina killing of 4 police officers and the suspect and injuring 4 other law enforcement. I said Mecklenburg, North Carolina, because that's where the incident happened, but there was actually marshal services on and Mecklenburg. It was a task force to serve warrants. Now, you might not know this, but I'm going to have a different take on this incident, and here is why. We're going to delve into the suspect. His name is Terry Clark Hughes, 39 years old, former convict. And we're going to really delve into what happened and why did this incident happen. And we're going to delve into law enforcement as a whole on pricing. Is it a dangerous job? All of the things that go along with that. So let me just emphasize the incident that happened. The police had a warrant for Terry Clark Hughes, who's 39 years old. He's a black male, and he's in Mecklenburg, North Carolina. Now, what the warrant was for a convicted felon with a firearm. And this is what really got me to be interested into this case. Don't get me wrong. Whenever I see police officers or civilians getting killed unnecessarily, it almost reminds me of a war zone. So I wanted to delve into this one of why did this guy go crazy? Why did he take an automatic weapon and shoot at these guys right when they came to the door? Obviously, there is a distrust of law enforcement around the country right now. What also pissed me off in a little bit, and I'm going to have to say this, is the president went to the place where it happened and makes a big statement about, they're heroes and whatever. That's questionable now. Listen, everybody can be a hero. Is a hero a person who does their job and they die in the line of duty? I don't know. Do you call a fisherman who gets pulled over the boat by the rope around his leg into the water a hero? People are going to say, wait a minute, Larry. He's not protecting the public. Well, he's feeding the public. So that's one thing. Number 2, as far as protecting them, do all the law enforcement officers in this incident, are they heroes because they're serving a warrant? I don't know about that, and I'll tell you why I don't know about it. And I'm going to tell you where my point of view comes in. And please don't get bent out of shape thinking I don't care about cops getting killed, because I really do. I care when civilians get killed. I cared when George Floyd got killed by Derek Chauvin. I care when an incident happens and they're rioting or they're looting. I care. Listen, I'm a human being. My views, though, come from a little bit more of an educated view, understanding law enforcement, former convict who happens to be also an honorary police officer. So here is my point of view in this whole incident. So this incident happens about 9 or 10 days ago, and what happens is they go to the door, the guy starts firing right away. Now, there were 2 other people in the house. So far, they haven't been charged, because at first they didn't know if there was more shots coming from somebody else. So as of now, and it's a week later, a little more than a week later, nobody else has been charged in the incident except, well, nobody's charged. Actually, they killed him. When he came out, he ended up getting killed. But this guy did a lot of damage. This guy was either a good shot or these guys are just wide open. And I don't know if it was just unlucky. Did they have vests on? I'm not finding that out. Did they have bulletproof vests on? Now, listen, they went in there pretty heavy. They went in with 4 officers. They were serving a warrant for a felon with a firearm. First of all, I'm not a believer in that charge, because I think if you are a felon and you do your time and you completed your full sentence, and that means paper or whatever it is, you should have the right to carry a firearm. If we're going to play this gun game that everybody has a right, because most people out there really just didn't get caught, and you all know who you are, and I'm not knocking you. Trust me, guys, I am not knocking you. I am saying that in this situation, first of all, I'm not even buying the fact that this guy got arrested in the right way, and I'll tell you why. You read all over it. I did a lot of research, people, on this, a lot. And the first thing you hear is how this guy's a bad criminal, how he's, this guy's, has an extensive criminal record. You know, if I got shot, I could just imagine what the papers would say about me. And I mean that. I think they'd have me out to be the worst person in the country. And I think that's all media. And I think it's all media bullshit. And I'll tell you why again. You know, this man's most serious charge was breaking and entering. Nobody's saying it was a shot at anybody. Nobody's fights in bars. Nobody's that violent act. This guy got caught with marijuana. Did you just hear what I said, people? 2024. And this man, even 3 years ago, this is 2021 now, he was arrested for marijuana. Maybe a felon with a gun with marijuana. Well, he wouldn't be a felon if his original charge, this guy's a pot guy. I am not seeing any cases that I could find with this guy that he is up on serious drug charges. Yes, is marijuana or was marijuana a class 1 drug? Yes, wrongly so. We all know that now. But I am not. Let me give you what I thought of right off the bat. And don't say this can't happen. My thought pattern in this case was that they planted drugs on this guy. I'm not saying they did. I'm saying what got to my mind right away. Maybe that's why he hates the cops. Maybe that's why he shot at the cops. Maybe there's more of a reason why. Let's not take this. Yes, we should mourn. It's not right to kill somebody. It's not right to kill somebody in cold blood or just coming at them. But let's face it. Unless you're living in somebody else's skin, you don't know what they went through. I often tell people that. Unless you walk in another man's footsteps, don't judge him. We don't know what happened with this guy and his negativity towards law enforcement. He's known as a runner. Why is he a runner? He did a high-speed chase to get away from the police, and they got his plate number, and they backed off. And, okay, that's this year, in the beginning of the year. Now, why did they do that? They backed off on that guy because that guy's not a violent offender. If that guy had a record for murder, attempted murder, or anything of that nature, they're going to chase him. And they're going to chase him till they get him. Now, they backed off on the chase after they got the plate number. They know what they're doing. The cops know exactly. And trust me, I'm also a proponent. The cops shouldn't pull you over for stupid stuff, whether it's a single light out or a joint or something of that nature. It only creates more problems than it solves. So in this case, this man, Terry Clark Hughes, 39 years old, I'm not judging him yet. Oh, he's a villain. He's the devil. You know, I'm going to show you some quotes from some officials that, you know, you're not a Christian if you claim to be a Christian unless you're doing that. Oh, he deserved, he should die. Who says that? Where is your heart? You know, the people will justify anything they want to make themselves right. And that is what kind of pivoted. Here's your elected leaders of North Carolina and saying, elected leaders ask the community to come together. I'm deeply saddened by the shooting that occurred. So am I. Vi Lyle, Charlotte's mayor, said, I ask that charlatans keep them and the others injured officers and their families in their thoughts and prayers during this incredibly difficult time. Listen, give your condolences. But you know what? There's one more condolence. If you really have a heart and you're compassionate, you should care for all the people. These men and women who all responded to this incident yesterday were courageous. This is what the head guy is saying for the union. Because they knew that they were getting into and still showed up anyway, Redford said. The suspect is where he belongs. I quite frankly don't have anything to say about him or other than he deserves everything he got. You know, buddy, let me tell you something. I'd love to look into you without what you have hidden. Because everybody has something hidden. I don't care who you are. And now you don't care. You're all right and mighty. You know, I find out most people like that when it's their family member or things happen to them. I can tell you Bernard Kerik. Bernard Kerik was the former police commissioner of New York City. He ends up going to prison himself. And now he's one of the biggest advocates for abuses going on in prison and even the law enforcement, how law enforcement treats people. So you can look him up. So I think that's incredible to something like that. So this incident that happened, this violent incident, and it is a violent incident, but it is not about gun control, people. It is not about taking guns off the street as the president said. We got to do more legislation for guns. No. How about giving felons their right back to have a firearm, and you wouldn't have this? Because he's not running from this. Because everybody knows, if you get caught with a gun as a convicted felon, if I, Larry Lawton, get caught with a gun as a convicted felon, guess what? I go to prison for 10 years. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm an upstanding member of the community. I help a lot of people, and I'm going to prison. And if you think that's right, then maybe you shouldn't be on my channel. You shouldn't watch what I do. Because I am all about reform. I am about better prison systems. I'm also about law and order. Anybody who knows me, I'm not one to say, let them all go. But I'm also not led by the fake media. Let's call it what it is. And I'm calling it the fake media. But you know who's perpetuating the fake media? The officials. The officials shouldn't be coming out vilifying everybody until they know the whole story. And you can't tell me you know the whole story the day of it happened. You can't tell me that. I'm going to hear back people say, but Larry killed. Yes, he's wrong. But you don't know the situation when it happened. I was in prison with people, with good people. When you read their case and you find out what really happened, you're shocked. And I have a feeling most people here would be totally shocked. So, here is Terry. Man, I shouldn't be saying that. High-speed chases. Hughes was involved in multiple high-speed police chases, including one in Lincoln County, where he evaded police and captured by speeding away when he attempted to make a pullover. Again, I'm going to emphasize this, guys. This kid, he might be so scared of the police, he is going to run, and so would I. Firearms and drug charges. Listen to the drug charges. His record includes multiple arrests for possession of a firearm by a felon and drug-related charges. In one incident, he led police on a chase and resulted in an arrest for possession of a firearm by a felon and speeding to elude arrest. You notice they didn't say anything about anything else. Repeated court no-shows. Yes, he's an idiot. Court no-shows, you're an idiot. Gotta tell you. So, Hughes frequently failed to appear in court. Again, does this guy trust authority? No way. Arrest and prison time. Watch this. He served time in prison for his conviction, including a notable sentence after a 2012 arrest for leading a high-speed chase and being in possession of a firearm as a felon. Notable prison time? No, I had more notable prison time. Ongoing legal issues. At the time of the shooting, Hughes was wanted on multiple warrants, including for charges related to a previous high-speed chase and possession of a firearm. You're not seeing any drugs here, guys. Hughes' criminal background characterizes by habitual law evasions and repeated offenses, including dangerous behaviors, underscores the risk and challenges law enforcement face dealing with him. His history likely contributed to the tragic outcomes during the attempt, or the history of our government going after him. Just think of what I said there, guys. Our government going after someone could create something like this. And I'm just giving you guys a different point of view. Just months before 4 law enforcement officers were killed and 4 injured, the man at the center of the deaths led police on a high-speed chase in Lincoln County. Lincoln County Sheriff Bill Beam told WCNC Charlotte one of his officers tried to pull over 39-year-old Terry Clark Hughes Jr. in January. But instead of slowing down, he sped up and took off, which happens more than you know. Beam said his supervisor called off the short chase, once the officer identified the license plate number, which was registered to a woman. Okay? Not a reported stolen car, so he got it from someone. If you do an investigation, you'll find the guy. The U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force was attempted to serve multiple warrants against Hughes on Monday, including one tied to that Lincoln County chase, big case, at a home on Galloway Drive in East Charlotte. When they were met with active gunfire, according to Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department, Hughes was shot and killed during the encounter. 2 other people were found inside the house after Hughes was killed, according to police, but nobody has been charged at this time. Charlotte's review of criminal record of Hughes. Background shows a man who routinely skipped court and repeatedly tried to evade arrest. You know, people, That's normal. Let me say something. You know, a lot of people don't understand the United States. When they put you in prison and they put you away for life, and you try to escape, they charge you again. No other country does that. Do you know why? Because it's not natural to stay in prison. Hey, listen, I'm innocent or think I'm innocent. Let me go and believe and just live like an animal in a cage because you said to. That's not right, people. At the time of the shooting on Monday, the task force was trying to serve warrants out of Lincoln, Mecklenburg County, terrorist crime history. Here it is. North Carolina state records show Hughes was convicted of breaking and entering in Parson County. Good crime. I'm not saying any crime is good, guys. Which is north of Raleigh-Durham. That was 2010. He spent approximately 6 months in prison before being released in May of 2011. Obviously, it couldn't have been too serious if he spent 6 months in jail. Hughes was arrested in June 2012 after a high-speed chase again in Almonte County, which is east of Greensboro and west of Raleigh-Durham. Deputies said Hughes led them on a chase of speed over 100 miles an hour after turning around to avoid a checkpoint. I thought checkpoints were illegal. Maybe they are now, or not supported anyway. Trapment, something like that. Again, don't have a checkpoint. And I'm not saying you should take all law enforcement away so people can get away with everything. But are we a country of us against them? Or are we a country of everybody works together for the good of the people? And we're trying to help everybody. Okay. On Raleigh, to that, he was approximately 6 months in prison. Hughes led them on a chase speed around 100 miles an hour. At this time, he was wanted for several warrants. Listen to this. In numerous counties for failing to appear in court. That's what his warrants were. FOPs, fail to appear. Failing to appear. FTPs. He spent nearly a year in prison for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and speeding to elude arrest. A year. This guy's not doing anything so serious that, wow, he's really that. Hughes was arrested by CMT on multiple drug charges in May of 2021. Got that? Multiple drug charges 3 years ago during the pandemic. He was also charged with fleeing and eluding arrest with a motor vehicle. He was released from jail hours later. Hours later, records show. Now, this is 2021, before like California has its laws and all this. Here we are in North Carolina, a red state, and he gets arrested for multiple drug charges. Let's see what they were. Court records show many, not all, of the charges out of Mecklenburg County were dismissed. There are 3 pending orders for arrest tied to the remaining charges, including possession of marijuana. I think you got balls as a police department to even be putting that in paperwork, okay? When I hear that they arrest somebody for marijuana, that stops the argument. I don't care who you are. It drives me crazy. Possession of marijuana. Can you believe this? They're all 3. Fleeing and eluding arrest and possession with the intent to sell or deliver marijuana. Those arrest orders generally suggest Hughes failed to appear for a court date. Didn't we find cocaine in the White House? Just saying. District Attorney Spencer Merriweather stopped prosecuting many drug crimes in early 2021 as the pandemic bogged down the court system. So it wasn't too serious because they're not stopping anything if it's serious. Court records show Hughes was a pending case from the late 2021 out of Parsons County for possession of a firearm by a felon and possession of marijuana. Now here's Mecklenburg not doing anything about it, or District Attorney Spencer from prosecuting any drug charges, no less marijuana. But this other county gets him for possession of a firearm by a felon and possession of marijuana. And a warrant shows that Parsons County Sheriff Office found Hughes with a handgun on him. Court records show he failed to appear for a court date on those charges in February 2023, a year ago. That same day, the court issued an order for arrest that remains outstanding, according to the clerk's office. Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, nobody is saying anything about this young man having anything to do with a serious drug charge or hurting people, fentanyl, anything of crazy. Marijuana. Now, if this guy Hughes thought Maybe it was planted on him. I don't know. Did he ever got? No. Listen, the guy sounds like he's just a guy on the streets that's having a rough time. Call it what it is. Maybe he's a drug addict, whatever. To come out firing at police like that, there's a little bit more to the story. And if he's got a mental issue, then they should have picked that up. But nowhere in the records to say he's got a mental issue. Does he not like the police? Obviously, but there are a lot of people like that, but they don't take it to that level. So I feel for him, and I'm feeling for him, and I'm sorry about that. They need a different response from law enforcement. Maybe mental health, maybe let's try things in a positive way first. Anyway, those are the factors that contribute to face law enforcement today. And I get those things. I understand those things, and I just don't believe in them. I believe that we need to change law enforcement up in a big way. Really. They need guys like myself, and they need guys who understand both sides of the people and law enforcement to start bringing in new and innovative ways to make law enforcement better. People ask me, what's the top 3 you would use, Larry? Top 3 things Larry would do to change law enforcement. I would hire people better, and this is number 1. I wouldn't hire kids. In my department, you have to be 25 years old or higher to be a cop because you're mature enough. We know the brain doesn't mature until 25, and now I want to give this guy a gun and badge and authority, put him in a car alone. Not happening in my department. Number 2, training. When I say training, I would take a day, maybe 2 days out of a month or whatever it is, and make it full training days, and that's all they do. Scenarios, shoot. A lot more training than they have now. And last, the top 3 is I'd pay them more and give them more of an incentive, and I think that would help the next 2. If you paid them more, they would be more invested in their job. They would be more comfortable. They wouldn't be stressed at home as much. And obviously, you'd be able to recruit better because of a higher pay. So that's my beliefs in this case, and I know it's a little bit different, but I don't want you to be involved in something like this. And if you're a law enforcement, don't think for 1 second that I'm against law enforcement, because I'm not. In fact, I'm pro-law enforcement in the right situations. But the minute I hear marijuana and somebody being arrested and charged with marijuana, I'm blaming the system, just the way it is. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. See you next time.